Hey there! Today marks the 70th anniversary of one of Disney's animated package feature films, Make Mine Music. What kind of title is that anyway? So in honor of the occasion, I, the Big Bad Wolf, am going to play a read-along book and record adaptation of one of the segments from the film. Yep, the 1968 read-along of Peter and the Wolf. Although this is one of the earlier read-along titles of the 60s and early 70s, this is a special one. You may recall how the earlier read-along titles simply have a single narrator read the whole story without any music, sound effects, or additional voices to accompany it. So with Peter and the Wolf, it makes sense, since the only voice heard in the original one was Sterling Holloway. Of course, like the other 60s read-along titles, the narrator on this one is Robie Lester, but this time music accompanies her narration. The score of Peter and the Wolf by Prokofiev is important to the story, as each character is represented by a different musical instrument. And all that's there is also no turn-the-page signal either, probably so it wouldn't spoil the reader's enjoyment of the music. The revised edition from 1978 was produced in the same manner, but with a different guy narrating. Yeah, I'm also doing this because there's a wolf in the story, and one of Disney's more feral wolves, too. Really feral, I must add. In the cartoon, he was animated by John Lounsbury, who seemed to have a knack for animating us wolves. So anyways, it says here, let's see the pictures, hear the record, and read the book. Oops.
This is the story of Peter and the Wolf. Now, as
Yeah,
you
it
know,
skips
in
this
the
introduction
Peter
here.
and the Wolf, each character is represented by an instrument in the orchestra.
Yep.
Peter is represented by the string quartet, and his trusty pop gun by a pop. The bird, whose name is Sasha, by a flute, which plays way up high. Sonia the duck by an oboe, like this.
Yeah, it sounds kind of like a duck, too.
And here is Ivan the cat. He is represented by a clarinet in a very low key.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little different from the slower version heard in the movie.
Grandpapa is an old bassoon.
I like how he's playing the bassoon in that illustration.
When the hunters shoot their guns, we hear the kettle drums. And there is also a wolf.
The wolf is represented by a French horn, but they never say it.
Little did that old wolf know what was in store for him. One day, our hero, little Peter, armed with his pop gun, set forth to capture him. However, Peter's grandpapa did not think little boys should go wolf hunting. So Peter, the great hunter who was almost 6 years old, was carried back into the cabin. Peter still dreamed of hunting, though, and when his grandpapa fell fast asleep, he escaped. He went out of the cabin, across the snow, and into the dark forest. He was very happy.
And of course, the string quartet includes 2 violins, a viola, and a cello. So it's actually a group of 4 instruments to represent Peter.
Soon Peter met Sasha, the little bird. "May I go hunting too?" he asked.
I like how Sasha's wearing the little Russian hat, since his tail is Russian origin.
Then Sonia, the duck, came along.
Yeah, in this version, they gave the animals names, except for the wolf. Little adaptation expansion there.
Sonia kept thinking she saw the wolf when he wasn't there. Ivan the cat joined them too.
Yeah, you might remember on Ren and Stimpy, they used this theme as the theme for Wilbur Cobb, that old guy in the show, voiced by comedian Jack Carter.
Then Ivan started arguing with Sasha.
Actually, the cat was trying to eat the bird at that part.
Stop it, said Peter. Ivan, you ought to be ashamed. Sasha, Ivan's sorry. He
The
won't
duck
do
gets
it
in a little
again.
bit there too. And then the cat figures, by the time I crawl up to the top of the tree, the bird will have flown away.
Everybody calmed down and began hunting the wolf once more.
That's where the cat realized that he couldn't really catch, or she, whatever, couldn't really catch the bird. Yeah, the first side just ends like that without telling you to turn the record over or anything, because it almost seems like Disneyland Records produced it so the record could stand on its own without the book. Also note how on the back here it says, plus songs about the story to hear and see. Beginning with 1973 printings, songs was replaced with music. Probably because this doesn't have any vocal songs. Same with the Haunted Mansion read-along for 1970, which just uses a couple of sound effect tracks from the famous Chilling Thrilling Sounds of the Haunted House LP album. But besides that, let's get to the other side of this record, where we finally get some wolf action. There.
The wolf had been watching the fight from behind some trees.
The wolf's theme was also used in the movie A Christmas Story as the theme for the bully Farkas, with his yellow eyes and his coonskin cap.
Suddenly, he darted out and began to chase Sonia. The little duck was so frightened that she ran back and forth from this side to that, trying to get away.
Now we hear Sonia.
The others tried to help. Over there! Run for the hollow tree! Poor Sonia. She couldn't run fast enough.
In the real story, the wolf eats the duck.
A little green feather floated down to the snow, and that was all her friends could find of her.
Just wait till the end, though, for the Disney version.
Would this crime go unpunished? Not if Peter and Sasha could help it. Peter quickly made a lasso of his rope, and Sasha looped it over a tree branch. Peter climbed up in the tree and held on tight to the other end of the rope. They didn't have long to wait. Soon the wolf came charging into the clearing. He was in a hurry and didn't notice Peter's rope. Before that wolf knew what had happened, Peter had caught him by the tail and was holding on for dear life. The wolf put up a mighty struggle, snapping his jaws at Sasha,
Like this.
fluttered around trying to help Peter, who was pulling hard on the rope. Sasha got so excited, he bumped into a tree.
Ooh.
The rope, sawing back and forth on the tree limb, started to break.
Oh boy.
Fly, Sasha! Fly for help! Called Peter. And Sasha flew as if Peter's life depended on it. When things were looking their blackest, he heard a horn and looked down. It was the hunters, Misha, Yasha, and Vladimir. Help at last.
Yeah, and I remember how Sasha spelled out wolf in Russian on the snow with one of his wings. Of course, Sterling always spelled it out in English for us.
But when Sasha and the hunters found Peter again, he and Ivan already had the wolf tied up. The wolf had got tangled up in the rope trying to escape. So Peter was a hero, and Ivan was a hero, and they were safe. Oh, happy day!
Yeah, they took the wolf into it and put him in a
And
zoo.
paraded through the town. All the villagers cheered.
course, the Disney version adds a little more to the ending.
Sasha wasn't happy, though. He was thinking of his lost playmate, Sonia.
That's why.
But when he went back to the hollow tree, he found that Sonia had hidden inside and was all right after all. So now Peter could go hunting whenever he wanted to. And everybody lived happily forever and ever after. Everybody, that is. Except the wolf.
Of course. There's the page for children to color in, too. How about that? This was a pretty faithful adaptation of the cartoon compared to some other read-alongs. Also in the 60s, Disneyland Records released a Storyteller LP album of the story on one side and The Sorcerer's Apprentice from Fantasia on the other, both narrated by Sterling Holloway. Well, of course, I chose to review the read-along due to its shorter length and how it's unique compared to the other Disney read-alongs at the time. By the way, this weekend I had a fun time at Boston Comic Con. I went with a friend dressed as Little Red Riding Hood, and we saw a lot of other geek cosplayers, posed with the Flintstones car, took part in the Simpsons couch gag, and more. I was quite a hit there. Well, I think only one person mistook me for Goofy or something. Well, I'm not sure what I have planned next, so just stay tuned to this YouTube channel to see for yourself.